from being her student to chairing her session. I think that tells you how proud I am to introduce ma'am. Dr. Geeta Dharmatti is founder of Geeta NutriHeal Nutrition Consultancy in Pune. Ma'am is faculty at Pune University, where I was her student, and at Symbiosis. Uh, Ma'am is also a PhD guide at Tilak Maharashtra University at Nutrition Department, and ma'am has written a book called "It's Not Always Calories, Dear." And I think ma'am needs no more introduction. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, respected chair, wonderful audience, and it's a privilege to be, an honor to be here on 10th January, National Dietetics Day, and speaking on the topic which is a theme for the year. The theme is empowering nutritionists and dietitians with the non-communicable, communicable diseases and through technology and artificial intelligence. So here I am translating what Dr. Raut said into a nutrition prescription, and kudos to each one of us in a fraternity who's doing a wonderful job helping the healthcare industry or the patients, or we can call it wellness, to take it ahead for us as a part of a wonderful team. I think we should clap for ourselves by the time the slide is on. So somewhere this biochemistry was so integral part of my prescription, I never realized that I had to learn the metabolic pathways, the Krebs cycle, the glycolysis. I wrote it as an exam point of view, I forgot. But when I got interacted with some unanswered questions, like we had Dr. Kurpad wonderfully telling us, why all obesity have been looked at different areas. It's not simple energy balance. There's other side of the metabolic pathways and all also to it in an obesity management. In such things, the unanswered question each dietitian's or nutrition prescription will have, we'll keep playing with the diets. We'll give keto diet, we'll give Mediterranean diet. We'll start understanding why is there a weight loss plateau? Why is there so many challenges? The vegetarians and hyperuricemia. Where are we leading to? Where are these unanswered questions for each one of us which are looking at it? And then we started looking that it is not a generalized way of looking. Not all you hyperuricemia needs low protein diet. As it is, we are a protein deficit country. And when we say low protein diet, what is my challenge as a nutritionist? I would be looking at balancing of the nutrition. So then I ushered myself into understanding of molecular biology, molecular nutrition. And when we talk about molecule, we'll talk about cells. When we talk about cells, we look at the cell and understand that the nucleus of the cell has DNA, and look at how the multifaceted DNA is. We have started talking about it long back. We know that how curcumin is an anti-inflammatory for me. So we looked at curcumin as an information, my metabolic pathway as an inflammatory trigger, and curcumin reacting with those metabolic pathways and making my body give an anti-inflammatory support. But how was the inflammation triggered? What one suits may not suit other. So maybe this kind of metabolomic science, which we are looking as functional foods, or we are looking at some kind of enzyme activity, I think is in now, and we are here to learn all that. I will be looking at a case, and I will start talking about the nutrition prescription over that case in a precise way. Because what I'm going to assure you today is till AI. We have started through general information. The RDAs are here. RDAs tell us about what each, then we have ADIs. So we have all that information coming from NI and ICMR. But we talk to the patient looking at one RDA, but when we calculate energy, protein, macros, etc., we personalize them. And we personalize them, we start looking at the goal as improved benefits. We want to prevent wellness. And MNT is illness, where we handle them with different approach. But then in wellness, illness, everywhere, we have a targeted benefit. In an NCD, when the patient comes to me with diabetes, hyperuricemia, my first goal is obesity management. I first have to look at the obesity management, make him lose fat, then I look at other areas. So I know my target area in this NCD is obesity management. So in such cases, it's important for me, for every individual who enters my clinic, that personalization is the key. What suits him may not. So he has his own way of looking at his health. He has his own interest in the food. He has his own likings and the adherences to the food. And next step after personalization is precision. Because here now I'm looking at combining all the approaches which will lead me for wellness towards that case. And that is, friends, is called as precision nutrition. And here the science of omics integrate with my nutrition science. As rightly said by Dr. Amol, that we are the face, the fraternity of nutrition dietetics are the face to translate this information of whatever we get through genetic studies, through gut microbiome studies, because they are microbiology, they are molecular science, biology, but I'm integrating them into my nutrition science and making the prescription very, very personalized, and that becomes a precision nutrition, is what I'm looking at. So we know that we've come a long way from general guidelines to our precision today. And we know the difference between it. I would not going to be in detail talking about all this, but if I look at the precision nutrition, for me, it optimizes diet for disease prevention, for weight management, and definitely at an autoimmune or an inflammatory, where there are a lot of unanswered questions in our nutrition prescription. I think there is a lot of solution in what I'm going to talk today. Generally, dietary guidelines are there, it will be there, and it is a great reckoner for us to take it ahead. But I'm evolving as a nutritionist. Technology is telling me, please don't sit down with MNTs. Get up. You have a lot more to add to your prescription. And then, as a nutritionist, I need to understand what more I can add there. So I start looking at integrating this technology of omics into my prescription as precision nutrition. So let's take a case study. Since I'm talking to a group of students here, I thought I'll take a young PCOS case of 24 years, definitely overweight, BMI of 30.8, and a typical lifestyle challenge. She has gastric distress, constipation, poor diet, poor indiscipline, no time management, detected with hypothyroidism, and the challenges are many for a typical 24-year-old girl. She comes to us saying that, what is the first goal of the girl? I want to lose weight, whatever it is, I want to lose weight. So when she wants to lose weight, we are challenged with a lot of areas in our health. So if I am looking at a typical personalized nutrition, which each one of us does, we talk about looking at her anthropometric details, we look at a pathological where she might be having, we had a wonderful session on biological markers, which I'm going to talk about that also. We look at her gut distress, we look at her energy, we look at her dietary practices, and then I look at the environment exposure, because again, obesogenic environment is a major culprit, and how beautifully explained by Dr. Kurpa that it is the environment which triggers my neurotransmitters, the dopamine secretion, makes me feel good with the food, and there's a lot of passive eating, a lot of emotional eating. I don't know how to calculate my calories in that. The recall is not absolutely right. She can tell me breakfast, lunch, dinner, but she will not tell me the behind-the-scene food, and that might end up getting 2,000 to 5,000, almost with a large pizza appetite if you have. You can imagine what is the calorie intake, and we know what happens with the surplus calorie. So that's the counseling, motivation, calories, discipline, diary, follow-ups, that works. That's personalized. But let me make you understand what more can I do to her with the technology helping me to work better on her. So what I would do, there are a lot of areas. One, you can look at metabolic omics marker. I wanted to spend more time on this. Genomic is one of them. You do have the test which talks about metabolic omic markers. We learned in the morning, insulin is not a very good marker, but with all these metabolic markers, they have a package which talks about the metabolic omic markers, and you can see the markers which are being highlighted here. They do the insulin facts, they do HOMA-IR and everything, the IR part, they do the lipids, they do inflammatory markers, which is CRP, IL-6, TNF-alpha, because I know my case is PCOS with a lot of improvement on behavior management is what I want to work on for weight management. That's a simple story for me. I want to make her eat less. I want to be more mindful for her. That's all I want to do. So I look at all these metabolic markers if she's come with that. There's a gut metabolic marker. Gut metabolic marker talks about the dysbiosis. Very interesting to know if you have a leaky gut. There's something called as zonulin levels. So the zonulin levels also makes us understand it is a leaky gut which is triggering a lot of unmindfulness and passive eating for her. There are oxidative stress markers. A lot of food, a lot of stress in the body, a lot of indiscipline. So I have glutathione markers, the glutathione stimulating hormone. I have MDA, which is a marker of oxidative damage. You have superoxide dismutase markers. They are all blood markers which can be actually checked through these metabolic omic markers packages. You also have amino acid markers like BCAAs. You have homocysteine, as Dr. Amol has highlighted, vitamin B12 and MTHFR deficiency. So I now understand that, okay, if the BCAAs is reduced in that, I can do all the BCAA in our blood, then I know that, okay, I need to look at what kind of proteins I can give it to her. I need to give her good proteins. Through the markers, I also have vitamin and mineral status. I can do vitamin D, magnesium, it's a very integral part. My blood values, magnesium may not tell me because we know the bone is a very good source of magnesium. Bone has very good magnesium, calcium. So magnesium is another metabolic omic marker which I can check there and work on, because each one of us is now working towards magnesium supplements. Then I have iron and ferritin, and also the genetic markers which Dr. Amol just talked about. So different genes, there are almost 250 plus genes. Now, in a confused state, I can't look at everything. I have my focused area of PCOS mindfulness. My whole goal is make her lose weight and make her more disciplined. So I look my areas as behavior management and calorie deficiency. That's all I will look at this case, because I know that she knows everything, but she's not able to follow. So I look at only specific genes like FTO, PPAR gamma, MTHFR, because they give me an idea of what supplementation of foods I can use to help her cognitive behavior, or we can talk about the energy management. And next, fitness trackers. Now, fitness app trackers are in thing. We all track everything from HRV to our steps and the food, what we eat, the calories and everything. So you can't ignore this fitness app tracker too. So look at the array of information I will have as a nutrition prescriber to give a nutrition prescription to my patient. If it was only personal, I wouldn't have looked all that. I wouldn't have even looked at blood values. Only anemia, B12, D3, that's it I would look at. And that's what I'm doing still. But now with all this technology advances, and if the patient comes to me with all this, I have to look at all this very much in detail. This is a personalized approach. And if I were to look at each one of that, let me give you an example of the genomic report. What I will understand is the PPAR gamma. That is mutated. Now, what does this PPAR gamma do? It is a gene, or it is an enzyme which actually, it's a nuclear receptor or transcription factor. It is responsible for adipogenesis. It also improves the weight gain. So many of the drugs, they actually are tamed to work on PPAR gamma. So if I know the PPAR gamma, let's take this report for the girl which we are talking. If I know that the PPAR gamma is mutated for this girl, then I know that there's a lot of scope of adipogenesis in her. Whatever I give her, the extra calories will get converted to fat. So I need to be very careful with her carbohydrate management. I know with the genetic testing that look at the sensitivities to macros. She has got very high carb sensitivity. She has got low sensitivity towards fat. And what works for her is fiber and proteins. That anyway I would have done if I had my normal prescription too. But now what I'm trying to tell you is look at the information which I'm going to gather to work towards this. I've highlighted the gene report. I've highlighted the metabolic pathways. We have highlighted the fitness tracker, which she's trying to tell us, look, this is my data. And now I pick up the specific information. Suppose PPAR gamma I'm highlighting. I will say you need flavonoids, because these are researched, they are studied. Flavonoids, cinnamon, and HIIT will work for her, because they are tailor-made to work on that PPAR gamma gene expression. As Dr. Amol was saying, I need to change the environment. So the environment to prevent adipogenesis is give her specific foods which are actually working on changing the gene expression. So cinnamon, we all know that how it works. So to work on metabolism too, if she says, I'm exercising, look at my fitness tracker, every follow-ups you will have your own challenges. Then I have something which tells me the metabolism too, the circadian rhythm, the snacking tendency. Now look at this report. It says that she has mild snacking tendency. The gene, which is MC4R, is trying to tell me it is mutated. So I know that behind the scene there is a lot of urge to snack. There is food drive, there is food focus. It's very difficult to lose weight, at the same time maintain the lost weight. So this information I've already got from the report. I mean, it is interpreted by us when we talked about dietary call, but the gene is trying to tell us a lot of things. I can precisely work on exercise which she wants to do, HIIT, muscle building, what time of the day she should exercise. So I take the prescription of telling her that please exercise in the evening, just do 20 minutes of HIIT, don't do more than that. So there's one, and everywhere looking at a very specific area of health which I would like to look at her. I'll also know through her information that how many times she should eat. Should she follow an anti-inflammatory diet? Should she follow intermittent fasting? So I know that she has a higher requirements of antioxidants. Her diet has zero antioxidants, zero anti-inflammatory foods. It's all junk. And she keeps on eating because she has snacking tendency. So 4 or 5 times a meal she's eating because she has snacking tendency. Plus I get her sensitivities, the caffeine, the lactose, the alcohol. I have a lot of information. Now it is my job to see what fits me for. I can't give all the information to her. She'll go back confused and my prescription is too complicated. I'll pick up, like I've taken this case, I'll pick up very few. I'll work on carbohydrates, I'll work on exercise, right? And I will work on specific areas of food, what is looking at frequent meals, because this is important for me. So my strategies are defined because I have a number of tools with me to work on it. My strategy says more plant-based food, more anti-inflammatory, more antioxidants. She needs few supplements. Because my supplement profile also my gene shows me. My supplement profile says my MTHFR is mutated, like Dr. Amol mentioned. That means, very interesting to tell you that if you look at this cycle, I'm taking you to the metabolic pathway of the MTHFR. It has multiple roles to play, friends. It talks about homocysteine, vascular health, it talks about cognitive health, it talks about your energy cycle, it talks about your arginine, citrulline cycle too. Remember your college days or remember your biochemistry books, you have learned these cycles. Now what am I interested in MTHFR for this girl is I'm interested in B12 deficiency if she has one, or I'm looking at her serotonin dopamine secretions, where I use tryptophan and tyrosine as a precursor, but look who is the translator for that serotonin, the BH4 and BH2, those are betaine dihydride and betaine tetrahydride. What do they do? They help me in emotional health. What is betaine, BH4? They are nothing but trimethylglycine. Glycine is it's an amino acid, and it is a derivative of so-called essential amino acid choline, still not being labeled as vitamins. But look at this, choline with glycine is what she needs because I want to work on her behavior management, cognitive management. So my thought process goes, MTHFR will be only looked at cognitive for her. I won't really look into too much about it. So I'll give her supplements of methyl folate, as the report says, that look at the B9, she needs enhanced intake of L-methyl folate. I wouldn't do it if I had just personalized health. I would just counsel her, do not eat, and quantitative approach. But now I know I can train the brain by using folate. I can train the brain by using B complex. I can make her more rich food, plant-based, by giving a lot of antioxidants and anti-inflammatory. My prescription is changing, right? So this is how the report translates for me to tell, oh yes, she's MTRR, CBS, so she needs methyl folate, she needs methylcobalamin, and this will help us a lot to understand how I train her brain with the help of changing the gene expression. I'm creating an environment. Of course, my diet prescription will have folate, but my worry is, will she follow the diet? Because the whole idea in this case is zero adherence and compliance. So I have to train the brain. I should look at mind-body nutrition here for this case to work on. And it's a fantastic tool I've got because I want to pick up only that. She may also get to me another tool which is called food sensitivity and allergy test, IgE. So that shows a lot of inflammation. Then she'll tell me all this food tells me that I should not eat it. So what am I left to eat? So again, that's an information for me with IgE raised. What I'll try to do is put more anti-inflammatory. I will train the genes and I will train the immune cells to be less active because immune cells are getting hyperactive with a lot of environmental influence. So this information also helps me. There's another information coming saying with gut microbiome. She'll give me a gut microbiome and say, look, this is my gut microbiome. Help me lose weight with the help of the gut microbiome. So what I'll do, I look at a gut microbiome performance. The performance says excellent gut microbiome. Because I'm not a microbiologist. I cannot read the microbes very detailed. The report is self-explanatory. But it's interesting that I need to now, if I go to a microbiologist, she'll only explain me gut microbiome. She will not give me the overall. It's me who takes the responsibility that how do I work on all this, combine everything, pick up an area where I want to integrate my sciences and give her the prescription. So if the gut microbiome tell me to use this pre-probiotics, which they generally do with the help of the gut microbiome testing, it helps me to give those in my nutrition prescription. So look at the variety which I'm getting now through these different tools. Friends, I understand that you all will feel, why should we do all this? But you have no choice. The AI is coming up so fast. If you don't do it, somebody else will do it. So somewhere we need to be upgraded. We need to be there. We need to know you may not prescribe this test, but it's good to know the patient will come to you with this test because he's well aware and well read today. So my prescription absolutely changes now. My prescription has changed the micronutrients, the macro composition, my meal pattern, the exercise, time of exercise, and everything. So this brings me to the last slide. I have my colleague Shruti here. We've been working on this. And somewhere I've been evolved, and we presented a poster also in this conference. We've been evolving. I mean, I have also come from a conventional nutrition management to an AI-based. All this information which I told you is being fed into the AI. All this information, because it's confusing for me as a dietitian to pick up where and how I will look at it. And then this AI put all anthropometric, food sensitivity, whatever I have discussed, everything I put. And we've told that AI, please generate a diet chart. Interestingly, it did. It did give me a diet chart. So today on Dietetics Day, you'll tell me, ma'am, fir hamara kya hoga? You've empowered us. You said that it is we who's going to actually look at the lifestyle and so many areas of health. What will happen? AI will give me the diet chart, what it has understood, right? Final human intelligence is here to stay. And hence, the 10%, because it's too complicated for a dietitian to keep, because again, the ratio of dietitian to public is very large. A hospital especially, the ratios don't match up to what we look at. We look at 25:1, and we have general hospitals where 1,000:1. So somewhere, let's use this AI technology, which it generates the data, it takes in the data, gives me a diet chart. I need to modify the diet chart. I need to tell the AI that do this, because input I will give to the AI. I want to look at calorie deficiency and my behavior management. Please generate the data, diet chart depending on this. Without that, AI will not be smartly converting the diet prescription. And yes, it does. So welcome to the technology world. We have no choice. We need to be upgraded. We are into more of AI, human systems biology. You can't ignore soil health. You can't ignore plant food. That still we do not know where we stand, but we need data. I need all the dietitians to start entering the data, because it is we who take all the information from the patient. We talk about water, sleep, exercise, everything, such a detailed information I don't think any fraternity does, which we do. And I think that's very interesting that when I'm looking at all this, I'm amazed at the role which we are going to play in the society. But yes, everything comes with a pinch. There's ethics involved in it. We are not predictive genomics. We are not predicting anything. We are only giving preventive and wellness. We are not here to tell diagnosis. We are here to counsel. We have to look at data privacy. We have to look at training good quality dietitians. I'm glad to know from academicians that yes, omics have come in the academics, but along with it, training to communicate what omics report they see is equally important. But yes, here technology is to stay, and we have to match with the speed of technology, and we have to get up. And I see very smart dietitians who are in the digital world, who are already there, and they do so much. I think this also will help us. Don't get scared that this is going to take away our jobs, but this will definitely, with the help of nutrition expert, is here to stay. But what's important is gear up with the knowledge. Gear up with all metabolic pathways, gear up with all the detailing of molecular nutrition. We are not here now to look at carbohydrate, protein, fats. We are here to look at metabolic pathways. Unless you learn about metabolic pathways, you may not be able to work better on your patients. With this, happy Dietetics Day again to all of us, and thank you very much.